what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to bring you the Cincinnati Bengals, a good number to watch for and a good total number. Obviously I have a negative 2.5 right here, but we're going to talk about that 2.5, and we have a 44.5 for the total. So let's talk about the totals first. The couple of games where they didn't go over that 44.5. Right here, week 15, we have the Denver Broncos. That's after week 14, and Denver Broncos, they had an injury with Teddy Bridgewater. He went out on a stretcher that game. Also, we have this week 2 with the Chicago Bears. They had a look-ahead game. Everything Like Blue is a look-ahead game. They have to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that might be a reason why they didn't go over that 44.5. Now, when you face the Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh isn't going to allow you to put up that many points on them. But if you look later in the season, they did. And they was facing a couple of injuries, as well as Baltimore last year. They were facing a couple of injuries as well. Then, the last but not least, you have the Cleveland Browns. Week 18, couple of things to keep in note. This is after week 14. Cleveland Browns play in cold weather, and they were at Cincinnati in cold weather. Plus, the Cleveland Browns defense is actually pretty tough as well. So just to keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about this 2.5, this total. Now, we have to figure out if the Bengals are for real. And what I mean by that, look at who they faced last season in the middle of the season. Minnesota, Detroit, Jacksonville, right? Not impressive at all. Those wins are just, all right, they beat those teams. And let's keep it moving. So now we have Vegas. It's not impressive at all. Remember, their head coach went out. So they were transitioning between a different head coach. One of the reasons they might have won. So the Bengals had an edge with this game, with that transition. Plus that wide receiver for the Raiders, he was in a DWI and he was in court. So you had tons of distractions with the Raiders. A hard season, a great season for them to start with, but a hard to end with. Then you have the Denver Broncos. Bridgewater went out. They got another win. Okay. Then now you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody thinks, oh, that was a good win. Not really. The Chiefs' defense isn't what it needs to be. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Their defense is suffering, and I'm expecting them to give up a bunch of points this season as well. So let's look over here to the games they lost. Green Bay, Chargers, and San Fran. A good thing is they only lost those games by 3 points. They got blown out by the Chargers, and they did lose the other game by 3 points with San Francisco. Now, I know what everybody's saying, oh, that's pretty good, but that's concerning because they really haven't beat anybody worth beating. As far as winning games, they really haven't won a really good game. So in order for me to take the Bengals seriously, they have to at least win 2 good games against 2 good opponents. Well, we're going to get into that in a second, but I just wanted to show you that. But that's pretty good. Plus, Joe Burrow, they really didn't have that much game footage on Burrow going into that season. They had some because he did go out week 10 with that knee injury, came back, he played all of last season, and I do believe that they have more footage on what the Bengals are doing, so it's going to be that much tougher to beat the Bengals. And like I said, it's going to be tougher for the Bengals to win games. But like I said, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice. They beat Pitt and Baltimore twice, and these are 2 of the best coaches in the NFL on this Pittsburgh and this Ravens team. So let's get into the opponents. Now, we have the opponents for this upcoming season. Obviously, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are going to be the healthiest in week 1, so I'm expecting that game to be under, and I do like the 6.5. I'm not sure if I showed you this, but here's the schedule. I do like the 6.5 for the Steelers. If that number changed or not, I'm not really sure, but that's the number I'm gunning for. As well as you have the totals, I do like under for that total. Going back to the opponents, after the Steelers, you have the Cowboys. This might be a toss-up. I do like the points for whichever team if it's over 3.5. So if it's over 3.5, take the points in this game, depending on which team. I'm going more towards the Cowboys in that game. Also, you have the Jets. After that, I'm expecting them to win that game, but I want the total. I'm expecting the total to be a high total. Over 45, 46 for the total. Miami Dolphins, that's going to be an interesting game. The Dolphins are loaded, but the next week they have a look-ahead game. Everything in light blue is a look-ahead game, and everything in orange are teams in that should have a good record this season. Speculation still, but that's probability of them having a good season. Easy schedule, good defense, good wide receivers, quarterback's a question mark, defense is a question mark, great offense, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and it's Bills, good team. So getting back into it, we have the Miami Dolphins. Next week, the Bengals have to face the Ravens. This might be a look-ahead game. They may lose this game. It's a high probability that they may lose that game, depending on how Miami is playing or how Tua is playing. So after that, you have the Ravens. They have to play that game. Again, they beat the Ravens twice last year. Ravens are looking to get their lick back. The Saints, depending on how Jameis Winston is playing, and depending on injuries, if there's any major injuries in this game, I'm going to go with the Saints. That defense is tough. That offense looks tough on paper. And I just think the Saints can go far this year in the playoffs. But after that game, you have the Atlanta Falcons. This may be a flat spot. You face a tough team. Now you have to face the Atlanta Falcons. If they lose this one, they're probably going to win this one, but they still have a look-ahead game. They probably won't win this one by that much, so this might be a low totals game, or they might lose this game. And then I'm tongue twisted. Next game, they face the Cleveland Browns. But with the Cleveland Browns, you have to remember the Cleveland Browns did beat the Bengals twice, so the Bengals may lose this game to beat the Browns this year. Speculation, but that's still a look-ahead game. That's still a game worth looking for, especially if the Bengals lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens. It is extremely likely they are looking forward to this game to win against the Browns. After the Browns, Carolina Panthers. They could focus on the Panthers. And then after that, that is a bye week. Now, they have a bye week late in the season. Depending on how the season has been going, if they look like they've been getting beat up, they may lose this one. It all depends on Carolina. If Carolina defense is tough, like I think they're going to be this year, they may be in trouble. They may only win that game by 3 points. That might be a lower scoring game limping into the bye week. Then after the bye week, you face the Steelers. Again, the Steelers, after a bye, trying to come back into it, an important game. It's going to be tough for them to win that one. They can win against Tennessee. It's going to be hard for them to win against the Kansas City Chiefs because they did beat the Chiefs twice last year. Then you have the Cleveland Browns you have to face with that look-ahead game. So that's 2 negatives against the Bengals for this game. Then after that, you just have a tough season. The Browns, then you face Tampa, Patriots, Bills, and last game of the season, the Ravens. They have a tough schedule this season, as you can see. Now, everything I said was speculation. The probability of things happening that may be the possible outcome, we don't know. The Bengals might be that team, and they might just throw lights out and score touchdowns, and we'd be like, oh, well, the Bengals are, all right, that's the team right there. Or the schedule might get the better of them, and they may find themselves on the Titanic sinking slowly. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting season, but I did want to show you this before I call it a day or call it a video. And some of the things that I was looking for is, why is it after week 14 things kind of got a little crazy, kind of get a little shaky? And as you can see here, everything in green are look-ahead games, right? So if you keep just looking down here, I went through this whole list looking for look-ahead games, and as you can see, week 6, not that many look-ahead games. But let me show you something. Week 17, or after week 14. After week 14, you have more look-ahead games than any other week. That's one of the reasons why things after week 14 gets a little crazy. And as you can see in this week 17, all these teams right here, look-ahead games, and they have divisional opponents week 18. So, just wanted to give you that little tidbit and little tip. And and another thing, let me show you something here. That's for another video. But I just wanted to give you that. That is my opinion on the Cincinnati Bengals for this season. Also, we're going to be paying attention to this 2.5 very closely. Like I said, I like the 6.5 for the Steelers, and I do like a under because they went under before, and if the Steelers have their personnel, they're not going to allow you to score that many points on them. With Brian Flores on that defense, being the defensive coordinator, it might be a little tough for that first game. And if I'm right, go back in my video, look at all the teams that I was speculating on. May not be right for them, but all we can do is just look at what's in front of us, look at the schedule, and try to make a determination. But like, subscribe, share. I'm also going to be sending out a, what is it? It was the Saints video I made. So that's a little, that was a phone video, so that should be the last phone video. I should be doing most of my videos right here on the laptop from now on, and they should be looking as good as what you see here after that video I put out tonight. So I'm gonna put out this one, put out that one tonight, and I'll catch you guys next week. I'm going to start getting the player props, and I figured out a way to determine good player props, so that should be coming in the recent days here. I'll probably work on it tonight and put that out tomorrow. But like, subscribe, share, but most importantly, bet wisely. Appreciate you guys.